हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द यूट्यूब चैनल अगेन डिवोशन ऑफ नॉलेज। आ चुके हैं एक और नए ब्रांड न्यू वीडियो के साथ। और आज थोड़ा कुछ अलग करने वाला है। कंप्यूटर नेटवर्किंग का एक छोटा सा एस्पेक्ट कवर करेंगे। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं वीडियो को। सो many of you would have done web development in the college or are doing in your profession. Web development, anything like big data systems such as काफका एटसेट्रा। वेब डेवलपमेंट में भी रिएक्ट है, एंगुलर है, कोर जावास्क्रिप्ट है, आई वुड से Django. Means those who have done these things, they all would have noticed or observed the one thing, that whenever we are running our server or local host, the IP address is always 127.0.0.1. I am sure almost all of you would have observed, because see, port can differ as per the service that you are trying to run or test, but IP address की जब बात आएगी ना, ये एक ही नाम आपकी आंखों के सामने आएगा। बट ऐसा क्यों है? Why this only one particular IP address, which is 127.0.0.1, is always used whenever we are running anything or testing on localhost or on our own machine? Why is it something unique? What it uses in the backend, we are going to understand it in a very deep. But उससे पहले ये एक छोटा सा स्टेटमेंट है, अभी आप इस बारे में शायद नहीं रिलेट कर पाओगे। नेटवर्किंग इज अ सॉफ्टवेयर एब्स्ट्रैक्शन बिफोर इट इज अ फिजिकल कनेक्शन। I know it is not making any sense to you right now, but please stay till the end of the video. We will come to this statement again, and every one of you who have watched the video completely or who have understood the concept, they will relate with this line for sure. So let us move forward. So see, this 127.0.0.1, ये जो IP एड्रेस है इसको बोलते हैं लूप बैक IP address. Now, what is loopback IP address? What is it? Let us understand. First of all, let us understand why it is used. It is used for system to communicate with itself. Let me explain again. See, this is one laptop or this is any device. Now imagine there is a one service going on for server. This is basically a backend. Now जब हम इसको लोकल होस्ट में रन करते हैं, तब इसी सेम मशीन में हम फ्रंट एंड का कोड चेक करते हैं। फ्रंट एंड, दिस इज द सेम डिवाइस, they are the same, but there are two different services going on. One is server and another one is front end. So for front end to communicate with the server, loopback IP address is used, which is 127.0.0.1. Now see, the communication interface, which is TCP or IP, it is same for all the services going on. There is not any separate interface or any separate service which is created for the communication for the device itself. No, it follows the TCP/IP model only. We will be understanding how it operates, how it is different from the conventional communication going through TCP/IP model. But right now, जब मेरा डिवाइस कोई एक सर्विस ऑफर कर रहा है और किसी एक सर्विस को चला रहा है, और मेरा खुद का ही डिवाइस मुझे सेम डिवाइस पे उसी ऑनगोइंग सर्विस को चेक करना है, यूज करना है, एक्सप्लोर करना है, टेस्ट करना है, in those cases loopback address is used. That is why whenever you are running any server, any service, it is always operated on the IP address 127.0.0.1. Understood? Okay, it is used to communicate with itself. System uses it to communicate with the system itself, with the same system. अब what is the range? अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि 127.0.0.1 this is the only IP address. No, this is only used because generally हम एक ही सर्वर ऑपरेट कर रहे होते हैं. If you are undergoing multiple servers, for example when you are running, I would say Kafka for real time data streaming, then Kafka is going into Spark, then the Spark is feeding data to backend, and finally front end is using this particular backend. So in this case, there are multiple backend servers going on. First is Kafka, then Spark, then backend, and the front end is testing this. So in those cases, the IP address will be different. So it might be 127.0.0.1. This will be having 2, this will be having 3, etc. So the range of 127.0.0.1 to 127.255.255.255. The complete range is reserved for loopback IP addresses. Complete range is reserved for loopback addresses. Okay, this was the overview. Now we will be understanding what is actually going on from the point of view of computer networks. Okay, so first of all, those who are computer background, they will be knowing that networking is done in terms of layers. Different layers communicate with the respective layer on the another side of the communication. So what are the layers? First is application layer, then comes transport layer, then comes network layer, then comes data link layer, and then comes physical layer. Sorry, these are the different layers that are going on into the OS level. अभी थोड़ा चलो बता देता हूँ. These 3 layers are these 3 are implemented into the OS, and means they are just software. They do not include any hardware. While data link layer and physical layer, they require dedicated hardware to get implemented because they are more of dealing to framing and data transmission, so it requires hardware. So in the device, it is implemented in network interface card, NIC जिसको बोलते हैं. NIC is responsible for the implementation of these 2 layers, and these 3 layers are implemented by the OS itself. So this is the overview. So communication takes in this way. It moves from application layer to physical layer in sequence. So, but what is done in case of loopback IP address? Just a second. Yes. So अभी हम देख लेते हैं application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link, and physical. This is the skeleton of the communication system. So this is the device. So it is willing to send data. So application layer, okay, it comes to transport layer. Transport layer operates on ports. पोर्ट नंबर क्या है? 3000 है, 4000 है, 8080 है, क्या है? ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर. Okay, then it comes to network layer. So the packet which we were sending or which we are sending, it has 127.0.0.1 as the IP address. So whenever network layer is encountered, network layer operates on IP addresses. Data link layer operates on MAC addresses. Those who are not aware, I am just saying for more for just overview. So as soon as network layer detects that IP address is 127.0.0.1, means as it encounters it as a loopback IP address, network layer, these 2 layers below are not encountered, they are bypassed, and immediately the packet will be forwarded above accordingly. Now see, everything will be implemented inside the kernel. No physical or NIC network interface card won't be interfering in this process. It will be directly going from application, transportation, and network layer, and similarly these 3 layer will only be operating into the same device with respect to communication. These 2 layer will be bypassed, they won't be working. Okay, let us move forward. Okay, now you might get the question that how routing is done, but before that let me tell you, TCP three-way handshake, ये एक प्रोसेस होती है to set up a successful connection. Yeah, it is executed at transport layer successfully. But in this case, in ordinary case, one is client, one is server, or two devices are different. But in this case, in case of loopback IP address, only single device is there, and three-way handshake is done between the same device itself. Otherwise, it is done between different devices, three-way handshake. But over here, it is done into the single machine only. ओके बट जैसा आप बोल रहे हो कि नेटवर्क लेयर काम में तो आ रहा है, बट राउटिंग कैसे होगा? सी, राउटिंग इज ओनली रिक्वायर्ड व्हेन देयर आर मल्टीपल डिवाइसेस, जैसे कि कोई बड़ा सा नेटवर्क है, ये एक राउटर है, ये एक दूसरा राउटर है, ये तीसरा राउटर है, so there are multiple paths possible. So routing is over there for finding the most optimized path, but over here there is only single machine, so there is not any specific use of routing, so everything is handled by kernel in this case. कोई स्पेसिफिक हार्डवेयर, जैसे कि हमने बोला कि डेटा लिंक लेयर और फिजिकल लेयर में यूज होता है नेटवर्क इंटरफेस कार्ड, जो कि एक डेडिकेटेड हार्डवेयर है विच इज स्पेसिफिकली क्रिएटेड, और its main aim is for just communication, not anything else. But in this case, there is not any data sent over another device. It is supposed to be sent or transmitted into the same device. So in this case, there is not any requirement of dedicated hardware. The thing, it will be taken care by kernel itself. Okay. Who handles loopback IP? अभी आप बोल रहे हो कि okay, kernel handle कर लेगा, okay. But kernel, there will be something specific in kernel, or it might be code or something which will be responsible for diverting or transmitting the data into the same device, isn't it? Yes. So there is a virtual interface into the kernel, or I would say it is written into the operating system code only, and it is responsible for diverting, or I would say transmitting, transmit तो नहीं हो रहा है डेटा, ट्रांसमिट तो फिजिकल लेयर होगा तो ही होगा, सेंडिंग डेटा इनसाइड द कर्नल. डेटा कर्नल में एक जगह से दूसरी जगह घूम रहा है, पर into the same machine there is someone who is working as a opposite device within the same device. So if we consider one as a client, another as a server, so if a server is serving, or it is sending data, it is sending to the client, but in our case, see, client is on the same device, but there has to be some arrangement or code or something, some interface should be there which is handling every such thing inside the kernel or OS. It is served by virtual interface. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, now why loopback IP address is used? First of all, to run local servers. फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड बनाया है तो टेस्ट करेंगे. APIs टेस्ट करने के लिए पोस्टमैन सबको पता होगा, अपने ही मशीन में चालू है सर्वर, अपने ही मशीन में पोस्टमैन रिक्वेस्ट डालेगा और रिप्लाई आएगा. सेम थिंग गोइंग ऑन टू द सेम डिवाइस. साइबर सिक्योरिटी पर्पसेस, फॉर एग्जांपल फायरवॉल का आपने कोई कोड लिखा है, फायरवॉल आपने बनाया है, कोई आपने स्क्रिप्ट बनाया है और आपको टेस्ट करना है अपने डिवाइस पे, फॉर दैट वी कैन यूज लूपबैक आईपी एड्रेसेस टू टेस्ट द सिक्योरिटी ऑफ आवर ओन डिवाइस. कि भाई चलो यहाँ तो आपने कोई मॉडल बनाया था किसी प्रोडक्ट के लिए, बट यहाँ पे आपको खुद के मशीन की सिक्योरिटी टेस्ट करनी है, कुछ आपको डॉस अटैक वगैरह करना है अपने खुद के डिवाइस पे, तो आईपी एड्रेस कौन सा डालोगे? 127.0.0.1. क्या है ये? लूपबैक आईपी एड्रेस. So I think this much is enough for the concept of loopback IP address. If you guys have any feedback or any questions, or any suggestions for me in my content, please feel free to write your thoughts in a comment section below. एंड लाइक सब्सक्राइब का तो मैं नहीं बोलता हूँ, क्योंकि अगर किसी को दिल से अच्छा लगा है तो दे विल बी डेफिनेटली डूइंग a subscribe and leaving a like. But no worries, it's up to you. I don't say to like and subscribe, but if you have anything either of these three, please provide into the comment section below. I will be very glad to take your suggestions, your feedback, your questions, and we will have some strong conversation in the comment section about the concepts. But for this video, it's more than enough. We will be meeting in the next video very soon. Till then, keep learning and keep hardworking. Thank you very much for watching the video.